Well, hi folks, here we are, August the 14th. Rolling along, we're halfway through August. What's in the news today? I see the Canadian government and US have decided not to open the border for another month. September 21st, I think they're calling. Goodbye tourism, man. Of course, the bureaucracy still get paid, the politicians still get paid. The big corporations are still making the money, so they don't really give a shit if all the small businesses are going to suffer from that. It's interesting. So today I have a couple of links in the description part, and the first one is about the WE Scandal, the Trudeau Scandal, Trudeau and WE sort of thing. And it's interesting. This is from the Tyee. It's a left-wing online sort of newspaper in British Columbia, and so again, this isn't right-wing conservatives talking. This is a left-wing rag, if you call it online a rag sort of thing. It's interesting because I'm just reading from some notes here. I'll let you read it, and you'll get the whole grist of it. But they're quoting the Financial Post here, that the Kielburger brothers, the founders of the WE charity and the WE Foundation, have assets of $62.5 million. And $43 million of that is in land and buildings. In 2019, their income was $65 million. So it's interesting because in the ethics and the finance committee's investigation into this, everyone from the organization, they all sort of reiterate the line that they give 100% of the money to charities. And obviously if you gave 100% to charities after expenses, you wouldn't have 62.5 million in assets, or would you? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you would. The other link that I have in is a conversation that the independent journalist out of Vancouver has had with a couple of ladies in Melbourne, in Victoria State, where the draconian lockdown is going on. I'm not going to say too much more about that. But I challenge you to watch this. It's about an hour and some minutes long. But here's two people on the ground in Melbourne explaining what's going on. And you know, we all know Australians in Canada because there's reciprocal. As young people, they went back and forth from the countries, Whistler and Tofino and Australia. I know my son and my nephew, they did a surfing tour and ended up down there. And a lot of young Australians end up in Whistler and in Canada and then go back. And the Australians I know would not put up with this kind of bullshit that they're doing in Melbourne, really. But I guess, like Canadians, they have changed, because most Canadians are getting ready to put up with this same kind of crap. And if you don't think so, watch that video and then give me a comment back if you don't think that could happen in Canada. It's happening in Britain, happening in Australia, happening in North America. Europe is sort of in shambles. Something is going on. And people just say, no, you're just into conspiracy theories. Well, watch that video and tell me what you think. And if you don't watch it, of course, you don't watch it. A lot of people don't want to watch or read anything that's going to be contrary to what they think they already have made up their minds to believe. And I suffer through Pelosi, I suffer through Schumer, I suffer through the twits in the States. I suffer through the left-wing papers here too. I read both sides, and we'll try to look at all sides to see where things are coming from. Because how in the hell can you make a decision if you don't do that? If all you're watching are the mainstream propaganda channels and following the Three Stooges that are politically correct, how do you make up your mind logically? Here's some other interesting things. This is in British Columbia. I've been looking at numbers because everybody is starting to panic and say you must wear masks, blah, 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 blah. Teachers are panicking about going back to school. So from January 1st to June, end of June 2020, here are some numbers for you. From the Wuhan waltz, from the virus, about 176 people have died. And I would imagine over 75% of those, maybe 80%, are in senior citizen homes or people with really bad conditions, otherwise poor health. I'm reading from this so I get the right numbers. I'm trying to find out how many people died in motor vehicle accidents so far this year, and there's no, everybody's working from home, so there's no data that I could find except an estimate. They're thinking for this year there'll be 287 based on previous years. And whether that'll hold or not, if more people are staying home, less people traveling, who knows. So if you have that, well, be about 143 and a half people died from motor vehicle accidents. Overdoses in British Columbia, from January 1st to the end of June, 729. From suicides, again, this is just, I don't even have an estimate, but the best numbers I could find are from 2018, it was 575. Cancer, this is from the BC statistics. They're estimating this year that 11,100 people will die from cancer in 2020. So if you cut that in half from just to make the numbers work, say from January 1st to end of June is 6 months. So that would be 5,550 cancer deaths. So think about that. The virus 176, auto accidents say 183, ODs 729, suicides say 248, and from cancer 550. You realize that most of those are higher numbers than the virus. Why aren't we doing something about that? If 5,550 people are going to die from cancer, where are the doctors screaming? Where are the government officials screaming we should do something about it? Why aren't we banning all this garbage food that everybody's pushing? All of these drugs that everybody's doctors are pushing? Why don't we get serious about health? Why don't we tell people to take vitamin D3, get more vitamin C, to use all of those natural things? Why do we poo-poo that? And any medical person who stands up and says that, they get the Three Stooges de-channel them, and the government sort of censor them, drug companies get pissed off, and hospitals fire them. Ask yourself, why do we do that? Why do we do that? Another interesting stat in British Columbia, we have a population of about 5,100,000. Again, this is a BC estimate. We have tested, as of today, I guess, or yesterday, 251,210. That's about 4.9%. So we're not really testing many people at all. Why is that? Some people surmise that the virus is rampant all over the place and nobody just wants to admit it. They put all these draconian things in place. But here's the thing. If most of the deaths in BC from the virus are in senior centers, care homes, nobody's taking responsibility for that. They're cracking down on everybody else. It's much like Melbourne. Most of their deaths were in senior centers as well. It's much like most places in the world. Most of the deaths are in care homes, where we should be paying attention. And nobody's taking responsibility for that. I mean, all of our medical health officials and provincial, federal politicians and bureaucrats stand up there and with straight faces give us all this bullshit about masks and what have you. It's sort of crazy. And I'm not saying don't wear a mask. I mean, if you feel, if you have diabetes and you have high blood pressure and you're overweight, sure, look after yourself. If you're, somebody who's compromised and you're past the age of 65, into your 70s, look after yourself. Same with young people. Get your vitamin D going. Get your vitamin D3. Get your vitamin C. Look after yourself. quit eating garbage food. Forget the GMO crap. You know, this is just a total annoying thing when you look at it. There's no logic to it. And I was talking to an architect this morning, highly educated man, and that was the end of our conversation, as we were thinking. The sad thing is, you know, most of the people we know aren't grade 9 dropouts. They have degrees, they're highly educated people. And yet they will not take a look at what's actually going on. They're blind to the thing. They're pointing to CNN and the other talking heads, and they're making their decision from that. They're not looking at reality, looking at the numbers, looking at what's actually happening on the ground. They're just obeying like the people in Melbourne. So here's the challenge today. Watch that clip from Melbourne. If you can get into even just the first 15 minutes, you'll see a whole lot of crap that just isn't right. And I guess that's about all for now. It's a great sunny day. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.